Hello, this is Ian, Somerset News Network. Trump versus Starmer. Trump's still at it, trying to get the peace deal. There was a report out from the States that Trump had accepted the Russian deal, or Russia has accepted the peace deal. We haven't heard from Ukraine yet, but we think Ukraine has also agreed to it. Starmer, on the other hand, is still going on about putting British troops on the ground as peacekeeping force. You know, this is absolutely crazy. We have got about 5,000 troops that are available, because some are on leave, some are training. What are we going to do? Send them over? And what happens if they get into a firefight? Then what happens? Starmer wants to create World War III. That's what I think. Russia is making gains on the Eastern Front. They've taken back the territory that Ukraine took a couple of months ago. Military analysts are saying there was a pocket in Kirks, and they allowed Ukraine to pour men in and equipment. And they've used their drones and artillery and knocked out all the machinery, all the tanks, personnel carriers and guns. Then the bunkers that have mortars in them, they're using the drones to take those out. They're using the drones to take tanks out. There was a pocket, and they reckon there was 7,000 Ukrainian soldiers surrounded by the Russians. Trump came out and asked Russia to be lenient. Starmer's come out and asked Russia to be lenient. Russia has taken 5,000 prisoners. There's 2,000 people that may have disappeared, no longer there. War's a horrible thing. People die. The loss of life is absolutely incredible. They reckon that Ukraine has lost 67,000 men since Christmas. Russia's also losing men. We had a peace deal, but it's now being reported that Boris, when he was Prime Minister, went over to Ukraine and told Zelensky to carry on. We were giving them bombs and bullets, thinking that Russia would give up and go home. You know, they didn't do that in Stalingrad, did they? You know, people don't think. They don't look at history and see what people are like. You know, no way should we have ever encouraged Ukraine to carry on. This was 2022, 2 years ago. The peace deal went over to Biden, and Biden said no. We could have had a peace deal then, and this all could have been sorted out. But now the Russians have got the upper hand now. They've retaken their ground that Ukraine had. They're in the Crimean area down south, and they ain't budging. Like Trump said, Russia holds all the cards. Ukraine hasn't got any. And without the bombs, bullets and money from America, Ukraine's got no way of winning. Well, they're not going to win anyway. So let's imagine we've got a stalemate. Because what could happen if they don't agree to this peace deal? The Russians could walk all over Ukraine without our troops even being there. That is a distinct possibility. Ukraine is losing, if they've not already lost. Listen to the military analysts. They're all over the place on the internet. There are a few channels, I admit, that say, oh, Ukraine's winning here and Ukraine's doing this and Ukraine's destroying Russia. Not in the big picture it isn't. It might have little skirmishes that they win. They're not winning the battles. We need a peace deal, and we need it pretty quick. Just to stop people dying. Anyway, Starmer's the laughing stock of the world. The EU has come out and agreed with Donald Trump's peacekeeping plan. So he's got this coalition of the willing. As far as I can figure out, France, us, and maybe Canada. I don't know if anybody else is involved. If you know, put it down below. A coalition of the willing. There used to be a plaque on my wall in my workshop. We the willing, led by the unknowing, have done so much with so little for so long, we can now do anything with nothing. That's the position that the British are in. That's the position that Starmer is in. The willing, led by the unknowing, done so much for so long with so little, we can now do anything with nothing. That's how Starmer thinks. Anyway, I'm going to go. That's only a little update on what I think is happening in the war. And I'm with John Lennon. Give peace a chance, man. Yeah, give peace a chance.